Hello and welcome back to cedh Bling Builds. This is episode 2 of 5 of the Ikoria Apex series. Our goal is to build all 5 Apexes as the most optimal way possible. And not all of them are cedh viable, but god damn it, that's not going to stop us from featuring all 5 of them and making them as sweaty as we possibly can make them. Today we have Illuna, Apex of Wishes. This temur beast elemental dinosaur wants to mutate to have a mediocre ETB. And what I mean by mediocre is it spams, it could spam, right? It has the option to spam non-land permanents onto the battlefield. And so, even though I've seen some meme builds where they run Omniscience, which is not a good deck, in my opinion, because it sort of just meanders around while it waits for the one and only permanent to, I guess, storm off or something. This build is way different. It's a food chain deck. And yes, we know, everyone knows there are better food chain options out there, but that's not what the series is about. So food chain deck, if you didn't know already, wants to use a food chain in combination with food chain creatures to generate infinite creature mana. And then you can use that mana to then infinitely cast your general to do some crazy ETB, and that's the deck. So we'll just get straight into it. We have Illuna, and we have Illuna, and we have Illuna, Lord King Ghidorah, and then we have our food chain. And our main win condition, not the best, but is a Goblin Bombardment. If we could, it's a little bit convoluted, right? If we could get our infinite creature mana and then cast the food chain creature to mutate the Illuna onto again and again until we find the Goblin Bombardment. From there, we could just continuously spam the board with the food chain creature and just ping, 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 ping until it's game. And then since we're in red and blue, we can do Underworld Breach nonsense. And then here are our food chain creatures. There are 3 of them as of to date. We have Eternal Scourge. What makes it a food chain creature? If you didn't know, you can cast these things from exile because food chain exiles a creature. Okay, to add that CMC. So there's Eternal Scourge, Squeak, the Immortal, which is the most important food chain creature, and Mist Hollow Griffin. And then a couple of these Buried Alive, sort of Entune sort of cards for our food chain creatures, just to get the ball rolling. We have Manipulate Fate, Foresight, and don't forget to draw your cards with the Manipulate Fate and Foresight, and Extract. Now, Extract could be neat because it could be a little versatile. You know, you can do other things with the Extract. But for the most part, you're not. You're going to use it to banish like a Squee. And then moving along to our ritual creatures and our dorks. We have Dockside Extortionist, Ragavan, Seaman Spirit Guide, Elvish Spirit Guide, Skirt Prospector, Wild Cantor, Orcish Lumberjack, which is annoying to have to play around, but 3 mana is 3 mana. And Tinder Wall. And just 2 dorks, right? We have our Arbor Elf and our birds. Now, for me, it was I don't know. I decided not to run like a Gaia's Cradle in this deck because I'm not getting super tremendous Gaia's Cradle value, and the 1-drop dorks in these colors produce only green, and in this deck, it's more important to find like the red and blue. So, and then the other creatures in here are just ritual creatures, so they just get, they exit the board. A couple of clock blockers. We have Vexing Shusher, right? Destiny Spinner, to help make less, to help generate less interaction when I'm doing my food chain shenanigans. Same thing with Allosaurus Shepherd. Then we have Thassa's Oracle, because it's another win con. Illuna doesn't necessarily need me to spam the non-land permanent onto the board. I can add it to my hand, so I could shit my deck, right, onto the board, and then later on just cast a Thassa's Oracle once from an empty library. A little bit of recursion. We have Eternal Witness, and Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift, which is really important because of the colors I'm in. I really don't have access to tutors that can just get me the food chain as soon as possible. This is the second best option. And then going into our counter package, we'll start things off with the soft counters. We have Veil of Summer, Red Elemental Blast, and Pyroblast. And then the rest of the counters, we have a Mental Misstep, Flusterstorm, Dispel, Swan Song, Miscast, Pact of Negation, and Force of Will. And then our draw package, we have, of course, the Brainstorm, the Gitaxian Probe, the Ponder, and the Preordain. And because we're in red-blue, you better fucking believe we're going to abuse the shit out of wheels. We have Windfall, Wheel of Misfortune, Wheel of Fortune, and Time Twister. Now, if timed, played correctly, you could, once you're going into your plan D with a Thassa's Oracle win, you can carefully draw as much of your deck as possible, because, actually, no, it all gets exiled. Oh, yeah. Okay. Even if there's nothing but lands left, the rest of the deck will just get exiled, right? When there are no more non-land permanents left, the rest of it just gets exiled. So then you could just cast a Thassa's Oracle into an empty library. Intuition. We can make some creative intuition lines in here because we have a little bit of that green recursion, y'all. Mystical Tutor. A Gamble, which is the worst tutor in my opinion, because I have awful luck. A Sylvan Tutor and Worldly Tutor, just so I can immediately grab a Squee, not Skur, but Squee, if I find the food chain, like right off the bat. Reap and Noxious Revival. I like Reap way better than Regrowth. In a sweatier pod, there are going to be black permanents on board, and so even if you Reap for one, you get better value than a Regrowth because you're at instant speed. So Reap, way better than Regrowth. And a Brain Freeze, just because if I can feed my graveyard with a Noxious Underworld Breach, then so be it. And then, of course, it's a shit win con. You could just Brain Freeze your opponents. But we all know how in casual that goes, right? In casual, you have your Eldrazi Titans that your opponents randomly have for no fucking reason other than their brother gave it to them before he went to the army. Our destruction package. We have Nature's Claim, Chain of Vapor, Cyclonic Rift, Winds of Rebuke, Snap, and Geist Wave. Snap and Geist Wave, of course, are Dockside doublers. A lot of these blue instant, soft removal is just to get rid of stacks pieces so I can combo off. I really don't care about your I don't know, Thalia on board until it's time for me to go off. I really don't care about your rest in peace on the board. It could stay there as long as possible, uh, slowing down the game for my opponents while I'm just carefully crafting my uncounterable win, right? And then our rituals, we have Rite of Flame and Jessica's Will. Now, some notable exclusions are the Fierce Guardianship and Deflecting SWAT. It's the same story with these apexes and their mutate. Like when I'm trying to win, I'm usually using the general as a combo piece, and so they're usually on the stack. So I don't get that crazy free to play value with the Fierce Guardianship and that whole cycle, which is weird, right? Because all those cards came out with the alongside Ikoria, but they don't have synergy with the apexes. And then a Manamorphose. I really need to foil this out eventually. And then Carpet of Flower, because it's a ritual. And then the rest of our enchantments, we have Sylvan Library, Mystic Remora. No Rhystic Study. I just couldn't fit it in the deck. If things are going right for me, then the deck is too fast for a Rhystic Study. I don't particularly like Rhystic Study. I don't think it's an amazing card. And then since I have all those wheels, you better believe I'm going to run a Narset. And a little bit of redundancy, we have our Jace. Our artifacts, we have LED because I'm an Underworld Reach, and Lotus Petal. Really important cards for your Underworld Reach lines. Chromox, Mox Diamond, Mana Crypt, and Soul Ring. Very light on the rocks. And then our lands, we have, of course, our 9 fetches. Red, blue, green, blue, blue. And then for our basics, we have just 1 island and the 1 forest. I don't need to worry about a mountain, because if I'm going to get, I don't know, worst case scenario, a blood moon, then look, here's my forest. We have our 3 duels, OG duels, and then our 3 shocks, and then the rest, right? Inspired Garden, Rejuvenating Spring, Waterlogged Grove, Training Center, Fiery Islet. And then the best of the rest, we have our Ancient Tomb and our Gemstone Cavern. And then our other rainbows, we have a Command Tower, a Tarnished Citadel, right? Because I don't mind paying the 3. I'm not in ad nauseum, so I could pay life up the butthole. It doesn't matter. I'll pay 3 all day. I am in blue-green, so maybe the the Exotic Orchard is an option, but I really don't want to sit around. I mean, when I say I'm in blue-green, those are like the most popular colors in the game. But I'm not trying to sit around and wait for you to, I don't know, create a land or something. So and like I said, I'm not an admiral, so I don't mind paying the 3. It's fine. Mana Confluence and a City of Brass. So that is it. That is Illuna in 2021. Nerfed version of First Sliver, and the second best Apex out of the 5, in my opinion. Coming up next, I don't know. I'll post a video up as soon as possible. I just want to, get all these videos, this series out there as quickly as possible, so I could do something else. But as I was thinking about all these Apexes, it's funny, right? It's clearly subjective, just how powerful they are, because some cards, some strategies work really well in a competitive scene and not so well in a casual scene, and vice versa, right? So they're not just overall ridiculous power levels. And it's funny because, as we'll find out at the very end, the weakest Apex, it just might be the strongest one the most versatile and strongest one. So stay tuned for that. Thank you.